Hey, this is SJ Talks coming back at you. I have it on Strong Mommy Crissy right now. You know, she's one of my favorite mommy content creators on here. She's one of my favorite ones that I always watch all the time. And her mother has passed. See the title there. Her mother has passed away, and she's pretty distraught. My prayers and condolences goes out to her and her family. I know that this has got to be a really hard time for her. She's talking about it on here. How I know I the other day um her community tab popped up, and she said her mother had went into cardiac arrest, and I just almost couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like, oh my God. And I never seen her mother, because her mother I've never seen her mother on a channel. So seen her. I said that's my first time seeing. She had pictures of her mother. Mother was very pretty, and that was my first time actually seeing her mother. And I instantly, I started praying um, for Crissy and her mom, um, and now she's talking about her mother's passing, and um, yeah, I think losing a mother and a child is on up there together. Losing a parent, especially a mother. For some people, the fathers is pretty devastating. Um, because some people are extremely close to their fathers. But mothers, yeah. Um, so my heart really and prayers really goes out to, and condolences really goes out to Chrissy and her family. And she was a couple of things that she talked about on here. About her brothers did not tell her, but she said she talked to her mother that was, at the hospital, talking to her mother and stuff, and talking with the doctors and things like that. She said, and she had to go home. Um, and she said her brother did not call her. She wasn't there when her mother passed, so um, and her brother did not call. I know she was on here a few months ago, a few months back. She was on here talking about how her brothers didn't help her. Her mother was living with her, and she was having to help. She was having to care for her mother, and she was complaining about how her brothers wouldn't help her with taking care of her mother. And her mother, she said her mother had kidney issues. She had kidney. Um, she had been on dialysis for quite a few years, and I knew that her mother was sickly, and I know she helped her with the children a lot. And I knew that she was sickly, and everything. And I know a few months back, she was talking about that, how her mother lived with her for a short period of time, and she was taking care of her, and she was talking about how her brothers wouldn't help and that. And I was actually going to talk about that, but I didn't get around to it. I was going to talk about that, and um, but I didn't get around to it, or it's either that or I changed my mind about doing the video. Because sometimes I'll have video ideas and I'll just change my mind, or I'll film the video and I'll scrap it, or I'll just change my mind altogether. And then I had some other topics that came up and everything, and I just, you know, didn't decided not to talk about it. But yeah, she was upset about that a few months back, how her brothers wouldn't help her with her mother and that. And yeah, her mother has had some health issues for quite some time, and but she's upset here. But I'm just a little confused about something, because she said that her brother, when her mother passed, I guess her brother was there, or her brothers were there. I'm thinking she has two of them. Um, they're a lot older than she is. Um, but she said the brother called her and told her that her mother passed, and they didn't allow her mother. They didn't keep her mother in the room. She wanted them to keep her mother in the room until she got there, so she can get a chance to, quite naturally, so she can get a chance to say goodbye and stuff and see her mother, and before they take her off, um, and to say goodbye, which is understandable because she said when her brother told her, she said, I'm on my way. And they didn't the brother um they took her out of the room before she got it. By the time she got there, her mother they had already taken her mother out of the room. So she's talking about she's quite upset on here about um her brothers not telling her. I mean, um not not telling them to keep her mother in the room until she got there. So she's very upset. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of messed up about myself, because I'm like, okay, because I've worked um I didn't work in a hospice facility, but I've done hospice work. I've done hospice work, and I've worked with people that were um, passing away. When on my last job, I worked with it was a guy that passed away, um, and he, because it was two different things going on. It was like adult foster care and assisted living, and I was working upstairs, and this resident was, he was about to pass away, and it may sound cold. I don't know. It may sound cold hearted, but I worked nights, and I was like, oh, I just hope he doesn't pass on my watch. I mean, I know that might sound cold hearted, but that's just how it is in healthcare. Not meaning to sound cold, but it's like I was like, well, yeah, I hope he doesn't pass on my watch. But lo and behold, he did. Because it could be. I didn't get a chance to get a because he had just actually he wasn't there for long. He had actually just got there, and he I didn't get a chance to really get attached, because you do get attached to people, um, and you just don't want to deal with someone passing away. And it's still, even if you're not attached to them, it's still, that's a life, and you still feel some type of way. And so I just didn't want to emotionally have to go through that, and having to deal with but lo and behold, he did pass on my shift. So um we got him, we did aftercare, what they call aftercare, on him. Hospice hadn't got there yet, and we did well, we was kind of pissed off at hospice, because by the time they got there, they was like, "Is y'all good? Do y'all have this?" And it's like when they were supposed to come in and do what we were doing, and me and another me and the manager, um, was it a manager? We're trying to do after what they call aftercare, clean them up and get them together, and stuff like that, so the family can come, and they can come and pick him up. So we were doing that, and everything like that. And she was like, and the lady, her name was Jody. She's like, June, are you okay? Are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And she kept asking me, was I okay? I said, I'm good. I'm good. So, I was just, it's the job. So I was just pretty much doing what I had to do to get, we were doing what we had to do to get him together and stuff. Now, his family, mind you, happened to be Jehovah's Witnesses. They were two sisters and I knew the two sisters, that they were his sisters. And they happened to be Jehovah Witnesses, and I happened to know them. And so we called them, and they came in, We got him together, and we called them, and they came in and um, looked at their brother, spent a little time with them, and they didn't seem like they were too upset. Jehovah's Witnesses are weird. Um, I don't know. They didn't act like they were too upset. I don't know. But they told me a little bit about his life and a little bit about his history and stuff, because like I said, he hadn't been there long, so I didn't know much about him. And they were saying that they were talking about you know we talked about different things, because mind you, I knew the two sisters, and we talked about different things and everything like that, and and we just kind of passed the time until um the funeral home. I think the funeral home and came to pick him up. Hospice came, but they didn't do a doggone thing. She on the phone talking about, are y'all good? Are y'all good? Are y'all okay? They on the phone. I said, well, why did they even show up if they weren't gonna do nothing? You know? So, but my point is that, I've worked with people that were dying before, and we got him prepared, and the first protocol was to call the family. And so the family, his sisters were able to come up and spend some time with him before the funeral home came to pick him up. And so that's why I don't understand that. I don't understand why her brothers didn't say, look, my sister's on her way. She's gonna want to see our mom and spend some time with her before you take her away. And so I don't understand why. It seemed like to me that would be cruel. I know that she wasn't on hospice. She was in a hospital. She wasn't technically on hospice. But this guy wasn't. I mean, he had hospice people come in, but since they wasn't doing their job, we did it. The people at the facility, which was me and my coworker, we were the one that got them together. Hospice didn't do nothing. So, and that's usually protocol. You do what they call we do what they call aftercare, and you clean them up and get them together so the family can come in and spend some time with their loved one until the funeral home or the coroner or whatever comes. So that's what I don't understand. That's the part that baffles me. Why would her brothers allow them to take her mother away, and they knew that she was on her way to the hospital? Because when the brother called her and told her her mother had passed, she was like, "Okay, I'm on my way." So they knew she was on her way. So why didn't they let in the staff? I don't know. Maybe it was a busy hospital and they were trying to clear the room for another patient. I don't know. But I would have think the staff would have went in, and I'm sure that this is not the first time that they've had someone, because when you work in healthcare, I don't care what capacity. It could be in a hospital, it could be in assisted living. When I worked at an assisted living facility, um, there were people that passed away. So it could be assisted living. When I worked in another assisted living facility, it could be assisted living. It could be a nursing home. It could be a hospital, or the actual hospice center, or the when I did home care, the person's home. So it doesn't make any difference where the person passes at. The protocol is usually to do what they call aftercare, and so the family can spend some time with their loved one, and then you call the coroner or the funeral home to come pick their loved one up. That's usually the protocol. So when she said that, I'm like, why was they so in a hurry to get her mother out of the room? And her brothers knew that she was on her way, so why didn't they put their foot down and say, look, my sister's, could you please leave her here for a while? Because my sister is on her way and she's gonna want to see her and spend some time with her. Um, that's what I say. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all, because that's usually protocol. No matter where the person passes at, it's usually protocol that you would allow their family. It's just like the resident. on my last job. We got him cleaned up and everything, and then his sisters were able to come in and spend some time with him before um, the funeral. I believe it was the funeral home that came and got him. So that's usually the protocol. So that's why I don't understand why. That's the part that baffles me. And I'm kind of I'm not I don't even know her brothers, and I'm pissed off at them for not allowing for not putting their foot down and saying, hey, look, my sister's on her way. She wants to spend some time. We want to all be here, spend some last moments um, with our mother before you take her away. And the hospital should have gave them that respect, you know. I mean, the hospital, the staff should have. I'm sure that that's not the first time they've had someone pass. I mean, it's a hospital, so I mean, I don't see what the problem was, unless, and only thing I can think of is maybe it was a lot of patients there, and maybe they were bagged up and they were trying to get the room cleared away for another patient, maybe, and so they needed to get her out of there. I don't know, but it just seemed like it's cold. It just seems like it's cold, and it seems like to me the brothers should have put their foot down and said, "Look, please keep her here, because my sister is on her way." Because I would have done that. There's no way I would have in a situation like that. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You know. So that's what I'm saying. And me working with people that have passed away, I know what the protocol is. I did it on my last job. It's like we got him ready. Did the aftercare, and called his sisters, and they came up, and they got a chance to spend some time with him before the funeral home came and got him. And that's usually what the protocol is. So that's why I don't understand. Um, and that wasn't even a hospital. That was a assisted living. So that's slash AFC home. So that's why I don't understand um why they would just be so quick to whisk her away like that. So I just really feel bad for Crissy. I really feel bad that um she didn't get a chance. She's really sad that she didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her mother. Because she was like, well, it's not going to be the same, seeing her at the funeral home versus. I agree. I have to agree there because you know it's she wanted to get that opportunity, and the staff was supposed to give her that opportunity. The staff was supposed to be considerate enough to say, did you guys need some more time? We'll go in and do aftercare and ask the family that they need some more time, and then that would have been for her brothers to say, yes, we do need more time because my sister's on her way. You know, that's to me, that's cold hearted. That's cold hearted. You give the family time with their loved one to say goodbye. So that to me, that the staff is cold hearted. That was cold hearted. I was Crissy. I'd write a review about that, and because you know the Google reviews. If I was her, I would write a review. I would go right in there and tell and talk and tell and put that in the review, because I just think that's very, very inconsiderate on the hospital's part to be so quick to just jump up and whisk her away without and ask the family, do they need more time? And then the brothers could have been like, yeah, because my sister's on her way. Yeah, we do need more time. And go in and do the aftercare, and then give the family more time to say goodbye before you jump up and want to whisk her out the room. I mean, it sounds like they was just like, well, we got to clear the rooms so we can get another patient in here. Because, hospitals are greedy and it's always about the money. Everything's like my mother said, everything is always about the money. So that's what it sounds like to me, old greedy situation. But that was her mama. That was her mother. That was their mother. People just don't care. People are just so insensitive. I'm so sorry that Crissy. I'm so sorry, Crissy. I'm so sorry that Crissy had to go through that. And so now she's upset with her brother. Um, you have to go and watch it to find out what the other brother said. And she said she cussed him out. So the other brother said something to her that really messed her up, and she said she cussed him out. Um, and so that's unfortunate that she got a fallout with her brothers at a time like this. You talking about some mixed emotions? That's some mixed emotions. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Crissy, I consider her like my kind of like my YouTube daughter. Because she's one of my favorite mommy content creators on here that I like to watch. Her and My Jazzy Life. Those two are my favorites. I don't really watch Live that much. I don't really watch the other ones that much. I watch Peach, but Strong Mommy Crissy and Jazz are the two main ones that I watch. It's like every time they post a video, I'm on it, you know. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like I know her, but I don't know her. I feel like I know her, but I don't know her. I'm calling my YouTube daughters because they're young enough to be my daughters. So I just, my heart and prayers go out to Crissy, and I hope that her and her brothers, they can get it together. Because I know mom wouldn't want that. I know mom wouldn't want them fighting and stuff like that. So I hope that my prayers and condolences is going to be a rough few weeks for her coming up. It's going to be rough for her. And then she's got to break the news to the children and everything. So that's going to be hard. That's going to be rough. It's going to be hard for her. But, yeah. They say when you lose a mother, it's a different world. They say the world is a different place after mom is gone. The world, that's what people say. That's what people say. So let me know if you watch Strong Mommy Crissy. I don't know if you guys watch her, but let me know if you thought that was messed up. Let me know in the comment section if you guys thought that was messed up. How they were so quick to jump up and whisk her mother out of the room, and her brothers didn't put their foot down and let her stay. You give the family more time. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on it. I thought that was very cold hearted on the hospital's part. I can't stand these greedy hospitals. I just can't stand them. All right, hit that like button and make sure you hit the like button. And until the next video, you guys be blessed.